High five behind the camera. We have a verified repair, finally. Full throttle. That's third. Boy, there's overdrive. Holy smoke, that's working. Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to Lumberjack Garage. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel?
Please whatever.
If not, take a moment, just hit that subscribe button and continue watching this great video. We're working on this 03 Super Duty that we got from Oklahoma. We have lovingly called it the Duke because it's like a cowboy truck, and Oklahoma is such a cool state with great history, and it just feels like John Wayne and Westerns. We're still working on it. It runs, it drives, but not good.
I had my back broke once, and my hip twice, and on my worst day I could beat that out of you.
So I started last night trying to get the driving issue fixed. So there is a code in the system for torque converter lockup solenoid. So I pulled the solenoid block out, and I think I figured out the problem. So I got a ton of parts coming for the transmission. I want to try to get that wrapped up still tonight. And the engine. So the engine runs properly. However, the glow plugs are junk. If it is lower than like 30 degrees, this thing will not start. And in Minnesota, we of course have some like negative temperatures coming next week, so I don't want this to just be like a giant block of frozen steel that is unmovable, because then there's going to be more snow, more ice, all the stuff. So we need to get this truck so it at least is a dependable turnkey runner. Then we need to start talking about some mods or other cool stuff we can do, but for now it's got to be dependable. So this is the transmission pan. As you can tell, fluid, pretty dirty, but this pan looks relatively clean, and the magnet has some metal on it, but nothing too bad. The transmission seemed to shift excellent. It went through all the gears well, shifted into overdrive, but as soon as it would shift into overdrive, the overdrive light would start flashing on the transmission shifter, which tells you it's setting a transmission code, and it was not able to go into lockup for the converter. So I didn't want to drive it too much that way. I don't know how the previous owner or owners have been using it. Obviously that was an existing issue when I got the truck, so you know, you don't want to burn out the torque converter by it not being able to lock, so then it's just slipping all the time. So I feel like the transmission is still healthy, and we're going to go ahead and try to address this issue. This is the solenoid pack. Now listen, I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to do that. There's something that has come apart in one of these solenoids. You can hear it and feel it. Okay, actually, several things we're going to work on today. A, we're going to put in a set of glow plugs and new valve cover gaskets and all that. We'll talk about that. Secondly, the fuel tank, for whatever reason, has started leaking, which is frustrating. It's leaving big puddles of diesel on the ground. So it could be as simple as a loose fitting. I don't know. Probably going to drop the tank one more time and check that out. Everything is made of plastic, those lines, and when it was filled with water and frozen, it all expanded. So it's quite possible that it's not having the seal that it should in that high pressure fitting, but we'll figure that out. I think it's leaking right here. I'd say it is for sure. You can see it coming right out of the line. There's got to be a pinhole right there. Huh. How do you like that? That's our leak. It is literally a pinhole. I can't even see where the hole is. I could just tell it's leaking from there. I can't feel it. And as soon as I wipe it off, it comes right back. What's our solution? Now we gotta figure out how to fix the leak. That's a great question. I'll get back to you. The tool. Okay, what we gotta do is cut this. So I'm getting a compression fitting, and we're gonna see here. I'm gonna cut it. I gotta leave enough room. My pinhole is right here. I can feel it with my thumb. So I'm thinking if I cut it here and then cut it there, see if we can. So the cool thing about this tool is it's spring loaded. You just kind of tighten it and then just keep spinning it, and it should just cut right through here. Are you getting diesel on you? My camera lady is getting splattered with diesel. Watch out for that. It might kind of splash a little bit. There it is. One side done. How do you like that, huh? Yeah, we're spilling diesel. Okay, let's go out here. So if you look, that's the pinhole right there. It's just a tiny little pinhole. That's where it was leaking under pressure. So I'm going to cut that out now. Get on the other side of this hole. Oh, there's the pinhole. I showed you the wrong spot. That's the pinhole right there. Can you see it? You see it there? It's right there. Just a tiny little hole. So now we're going to cut this out. Just get past it. This is thick, like stainless steel line. I'm surprised that it actually got itself punctured like that, but you know, you got rust and corrosion and rocks and everything in these holders, and then they, ta-da, look at that. Perfect. That is a really nice cut. And then this is the bad part. I'm just taking it out of there. Right there. That's it. I'm going to try a compression fitting. This is made for fuel systems. If this works, we are great. I'll just back flush it quick. And I think I'll do this. Gonna fill that. I'm gonna take my finger, get this over here nice and full. Come on, you. And then out you go. Hey, that should be clean. Take a bit of grease and I'll put it on here because the grease will capture any of those metal flakes. We're gonna try it. Okay, we're fully installed. We got a compression fitting nice and tight. Now I want to put that tank back up. I want to hook up the supply side, and we're going to put the return side in a bucket. We're going to flush the line, make sure there's no metal in it, and then we'll hook it all up one more time. Make sure this holds pressure and doesn't leak. Because this should be a good fix, I think. Again, it's made for fuel systems, so I mean, but it's nice and tight here. That's tight. I never know. I don't ever want to like over torque these things. I mean, that's pretty tight. All right, let's get the tank back up. I'm going to turn the key on. We're going to prime the fuel system. Let it flush the line from any potential metal shavings. Well, I didn't make sure that this was clean, but I don't see really any metal shavings, so that's good. Just by cleaning that line, I just didn't want any metal in. And now I'm going to pressurize the fuel system again, and we'll see if our compression fitting leaks. This is how you're supposed to do it. I think we fixed it. We got no leaks. How do you like that, huh? Easy fix. That only took like 17 hours. No problem. That means I can put the tank back, button everything up. That's a pretty good fix. Are you happy about that? Mm-hmm. That cost us like $5. Yep. Maybe, yeah, it cost $5. Hey, that's another win for a 7.3. Hey, it looks like Christmas came early this year. I think I have all the parts I need to wrap this truck up. I got the new valve cover gaskets that include the wire harnesses for the glow plugs and the injectors. That's important. This is the old solenoid pack. I got a transmission filter. I got all new Motorcraft glow plugs. I got a Transgo shift kit. I got 10 quarts of fresh fluid, and I got my brand new remanufactured solenoid pack. So I should have everything I need. A little bit of instructions there. Everything I need, I hope, to get this Oklahoma truck, good old Duke.
All right, Buster, what do you do?
Back up and running. I spent a lot of time on this truck today. I was not planning on spending so much time on this truck as far as what I've done so far. The fuel line, that was a big part of the afternoon, just screwing around and getting it figured out. And then all my other interruptions for the day. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on the transmission, try to get that buttoned up tonight, and then we'll see what time it is. And then tomorrow we're going to dig in and get the glow plugs done, and then we got to take it on a test drive, and hopefully we actually have it at like 0, which is somewhat maintained, somewhat dependable turnkey daily driver. Then we get to dig into the front end. The front U-joints are junk, and the sway bar links are bad, and you know, all the other deferred maintenance that these old trucks get, but it's not going to take too much longer. And just like that, shift kit is installed. The directions are really self-explanatory, and they have extra pieces if you have the transmission apart. These are some repair parts, but obviously this is just, we're upgrading the shifting in these, I think the accumulator body and the valve body. So the old parts we didn't use, and we're getting ready to put it back in. I'm still here. I shouldn't be here. It is like literally 2 in the morning. This truck has been kicking my butt. Ugh. Okay, Duke, seriously. I don't know. Let me show you this. I finally got the transmission pan on. Transmission pan would not go in. It kept hitting and moving. There was a giant dent right here, and that was hitting the valve body. Also, it would conflict with the transmission filter. So I had to take the pan off several times. I hammered this down. This then is what has happened to this transmission. Whatever hit there impacted the valve body with such force that it broke that solenoid block. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to do that. And that's why the transmission shifter is flashing. Is that insane? And I also learned that the transmission filter, there's 2 different filters. This is the one that came out of the truck, and notice it has a very short sump on it. It's for 2-wheel drive only. So somebody put a 2-wheel drive filter because it seemed like it kept hitting the filter and I couldn't get the pan up. And that's also why the pan came off easy, but when I went to put it back on, it wouldn't go back on. So, wow, we're solving problems. Did we actually fix this transmission? I'm going to leave it on the hoist. I'm going to fill it up with fluid. I'm going to run it through the gears. And if it goes into torque converter lockup and it doesn't flash, we've made it. Then I gotta sleep for a few hours, get back on it, get the glow plugs in, and hopefully drive this thing off the hoist. Hey, it's running, that's good. Put her in reverse, it engages, neutral, drive. Second, I can feel it engaging. First, back to drive. Now the issue is when it would get to torque converter lockup, that would flash. It says it's setting a transmission code. Here we go. We're letting her go now. We're 10 miles an hour. 20. I am concerned my overdrive cancel light's not working anymore. That's annoying. I don't know what I would have done. That was working before. That's the annoying part of working till like 3 in the morning and then having it not work properly. So I'm done. Let's see. Overdrive cancel. It's got to be in that solenoid assembly, right? It's electronic. I don't think any of the shift kit or any of that stuff would affect it. It's got to be electronic. I don't know. I'll think about it. So, I guess we're leaving on a low note. Till tomorrow. Welcome back. It's the next day. I told myself I will not be defeated by this truck. I will not go home till I take it on a test drive. Well, by 3 in the morning, I gave up. Here's the deal. Everything, it just got weird with this overdrive light. Last night, I'm on the hoist. I'm running through the gears. All of a sudden, it would not go into overdrive, and this button wasn't working anymore on the shifter. Well, it turns out, I believe that the wiring is bad on this shifter. So this morning, to try to do some troubleshooting, I plugged in the previous solenoid pack. The shifter would not illuminate. Just in case it has something to do with the solenoid pack, I looked at the wiring on the transmission. I jiggled that. I had somebody in the truck constantly pushing the button. I'm wiggling wiring. It still wouldn't work. Then I was driving it off the hoist, put it in drive, and at the right angle I pushed the button and it worked. But then once I moved the shifter again, quit working. So then I think I must coincidentally have a broken wire at the exact same time that I serviced the transmission and changed the solenoid block. Is it possible? Anything is possible. So I'm ordering a new shifter at this moment. I'm going to replace it. We're going to bench test it too, just to verify that it's bad before we get too crazy here.
All right, Buster, what do you do?
It's like, what are the odds that that shifter would break in the moment that I'm test driving it on the hoist after I just did the whole tranny service, which threw me for a loop, and it made me feel like I did something wrong, and I almost felt like taking the whole transmission apart again, which thankfully I did not do. I just did the smart thing, go home and sleep for a few hours. Please excuse the mess. As you know, I'm trying to clean this shop, but projects like this Duke consume so much time. I'm like, hey, I tried to schedule myself a little light this week for my regular business because I wanted to get the Duke done. I have a ton of other projects. I need to get the shop clean. Like, I literally need to get it clean to accomplish some tasks that I have commitments for customers. So this is just absurd to be spending this much time, but what are you supposed to do? Ugh. Now, I've got a continuity test on the wires for this shifter, okay? So when you push this button, It's supposed to create a tone because it's completing a circuit. But it's not doing it right now. But watch this. If I manipulate these wires, I will get it, I think. I think I had it working just a minute ago. See that? If I just wiggle this wire, now it doesn't work. So, what are the odds? I didn't know that this had a problem. It seemed to always work. I've driven this truck about 300 miles since I got it. This seems to have always worked. It just so happened last night, I'm testing it after I just did this whole valve body and all that junk, the shift kit, and it didn't work anymore. And I thought that it had something to do with me. I'm researching, are there different solenoid blocks? Did I chafe a wire, or is there a problem with the wire? Thankfully, it's a simple fix, and it just goes to show that because I was about ready to tear into this truck and just tear everything apart. But I controlled myself. Just keep the projects small. Take your time. Go over. So thankfully, we figured it out, and it was wise for me just to be done. Like I said, 3 in the morning, I was already done for hours. I was not supposed to stay there that long. This is why Chinese parts have a bad reputation. Look at the crisp factory plug-in. Now, compare that to the Chinese-made aftermarket plug-in. See how it's got like that extra little edge from being molded, the plastic molded edge? Well, that will not plug in. I double checked Dorman's website. The auto parts store did not give me the wrong one. This is the right one according to Dorman for my application. So I'm just gonna try to rewire it. Unbelievable. So mad. If this is a customer car, like, I'm just doing all of this for free. This is my car, but still, seriously, it should be like boom, boom, done. Not like boom, boom, not done. Boom, boom, shave, shave, boom, boom, still not done. Oh my goodness, take it all apart. Now take this apart. Now break that. So if you ever actually want to return this, you can't. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. For the first time ever, live on national television, does it actually work before we celebrate? It's unreal. How much time? It is unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Key on, and oh, yes! Ah! It worked! So it's a little after 8, and I hit a wall. I gotta be done for the day. We're doing glow plugs. I really wanted to drive this truck home tonight. I have yet to test drive it with the transmission to make sure that works properly. But the one ray of hope that I have on this whole truck is somebody has already put valve cover gaskets in it on both sides. Finally, somebody else spent a little bit of money on this truck. So I get to return mine, get a full refund, which is roughly $130 maybe. So hey, there's a little bright spot right there. I already got the glow plugs all on the driver's side. I got the passenger side blown apart. I am going with Motorcraft glow plugs. So hopefully tomorrow, I might have 1, maybe 2 hours left to button up the engine, clean everything, top off the transmission, and finally test drive. I'm sort of excited to see how that transmission shifts with the shift kit in it. I've never done a shift kit in one of these transmissions before. The lower separator plate gasket, very brittle. See that? It's actually made of paper, but it's just like breaks. So I sort of regret not doing, there's 2 gaskets in there. I just did the lower, I didn't do the upper. To do the upper, you have to lower the whole separator plate. It has all those I don't know if it has 11 or 15 little balls that have to be in the perfect spot. I just was trying to minimize. So a lot of vehicles in the 90s, like Ford Rangers, Explorers, had problems with those separator plate gaskets. They would do exactly that. They'd get brittle and fluid would bypass through the gasket and it would cause weird shift issues. So I've had to do that on quite a few of the Rangers over the years. That early body style Ranger, like 99 to the early 2000s. So that's when I knew I was going to be in here. I figured, well, we better put that gasket in for sure. So, I mean, we're kind of marching our way up to the front of this truck and trying to hit maintenance as we go. So there's a ton of stuff left to do, but hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to have it start in the cold, have it shift through all the gears, no flashing overdrive, the light, and that the torque converter will lock up so that way we can tow trailers and we're not going to burn out the transmission. The fluid is obviously black, so it clearly needed to be changed. We did a full fluid flush, not just the 6 quarts in the pan. I drained the entire transmission, pulled the cooler lines, everything. So, you know, I think I'm finding some other issues under the hood that we'll have to address going forward. Obviously, we need to get back to the steering wheel, make sure that the horn works and the cruise works. But like I said, I'm just trying to make it like at least basically run and drive properly, then go back and start fixing it up so that it's more like a really nice truck with absolutely no issues. So let's see what the test drive's like tomorrow, but for now I'm going to bed. Now that we got the real mechanic here, we're actually getting some work done.
Oh yeah.
Putting in a new boost controller since we're all there. And look at this. These vacuum hoses were just so degraded that it wasn't making vacuum because it had vacuum leaks. It wasn't making the boost it's supposed to make. So we might really have some performance upgrades. Major gains, just like when you go to the gym. Right? We got the valve covers back on, new glow plugs installed, ready to put our boost tubes in and hook everything up. Boy, we are close to a test drive, Will.
I'm excited.
We're gonna have, we'll start when it's cold outside. We're gonna have full boost, full send. We're gonna have, it's gonna be great. One more time, we're checking the level. We added a few quarts. Is it shown on the stick yet?
The stick is all red. So.
Oh, because it's still in the tube?
Yeah, it's it.
Well, we'll wait it out one more time. Let's see what it does. 12 quarts in the system. It was pretty much completely drained. I think it's a 14 quart total capacity, but I didn't blow the coolers out. So, or, you know, flush the cooler. So we probably have, I bet we're pretty close. All right, test drive, here we come. So, I love this new shift handle. It feels really good. Make sure that works. Yep, that works. So what we're doing now, we're at 30 miles an hour. Everything actually seems to be working properly. We got heat in the heater, we're up to operating temperature. Shift seems to be shifting good.
Nice and solid.
Yeah, so I put we firmed up the shift on all 4 shifts, and it should give us more power for torque converter lockup, which is really what you need for a diesel. I would love to do some power adders, but at this point we're just trying to make sure this truck is healthy. So once we get into overdrive, we're on a back road here. It's running nice. Shift's good. This thing has junk tires.
Yeah.
If you see the camera jumping, we are bouncing like crazy. And the downside of a back road at night, the headlights are screwed up on this truck.
There's been a lot of deer moving around today.
Really?
Yeah. Saw like 10.
Okay, we're in overdrive. So about now is when our tranny would set a code because it wouldn't go into lock. So far, we would already been flashing by now, I think. I'm not looking at this while I'm driving, don't worry. Torque converter clutch. We have torque converter clutch solenoid on, torque converter clutch solenoid 100%. Zero slip. Ho ho ho!
Oh yeah.
High five behind the camera. We have a verified repair, finally. All right, we should turn around and then we should go to the highway and we should do a little bit of like a 3/4 throttle, see what the shift, how firm these shifts are. Here we go, let's give it some gas. Full throttle. That's third. Boy, there's overdrive. Holy smoke, that's working. That's 65.
That is nice.
That is so much better. Holy smoke. Well, we got boost too, because remember, we weren't getting full boost because all the vacuum leaks on the boost control. I mean, it's not like a race truck, but it's like, seeing if the injector's hanging a little bit. It's just a little,
Just starting to sound a little rough.
Little misfire. These cabs are so rattly in these trucks. Well, is it? I mean, these tires, so I drove it on the hoist and you could see the tires just doing this. Like, I think the belts are broken because it sat in the same spot for like maybe up to 4 years. And they're cheap tires to begin with, so you know they got major flat spots. You can just feel the whole truck is just bouncing. Oh boy. Alright, we're gonna go from a dead stop, full throttle. We're gonna count as it shifts through the gears. Here we go. We're in lock. 70. We're golden, man.
Oh yeah.
We totally fixed this truck. Holy smoke. It's almost like we haven't done anything for real besides just all the crap that somebody else has ruined. We're just trying to get it to like 0. Wow. Alright, you know what we gotta do next, Will?
What?
Gotta hook up a trailer and go pick up a broken down car. Then we can really test if it's good.